Welcome everyone to TechDaily.ai. Today we're diving deep into a world many of us know, maybe know and love, a place of monsters, magic, tough choices. We're talking The Witcher.
Yeah, it feels like a long time, doesn't it?
It really does. Like
Yeah.
a whole decade since The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt landed.
And it didn't just land, it changed the game for open world RPGs.
Totally. It wasn't just a big map with icons. It felt alive. Remember those quests?
Yeah.
Like the play you had to put on?
Oh, absolutely. It set such a high bar. The characters, the choices actually mattering, the world reacting. It just pulled you in.
Yeah, it felt real. Complex, dangerous,
Exactly. A living world. Few games really manage that.
So after that, the big question has always been, what's next? The anticipation's been, well, it's been huge.
Definitely a lot of speculation out there.
Right. So our mission today is to cut through all that noise, the wish list, I hope they add this stuff.
Yeah.
We're focusing only on what's actually been revealed,
Yeah.
solid facts,
Mm-hmm.
especially from that pretty stunning tech demo we saw recently. We're building a picture based purely on the concrete info that's out there.
Think of it as the blueprint. What do we actually know? Direction, tech, maybe even timelines.
Exactly. The confirmed reality.
Okay.
And the first, maybe the biggest piece of that reality, the heroes changing. So yeah, 10 years on, CD Projekt Red confirms they're starting a whole new Witcher saga.
And not just one game, right? A new trilogy.
A new trilogy, exactly. So they're planning long term. But the headline grabber, Geralt stepping aside.
That's the massive news, isn't it? The protagonist is Ciri.
Geralt's adopted daughter, central to the books, huge in Witcher 3.
Yeah, it's a big pivot. The other games were all Geralt all the time.
And they've given reasons. They're calling Ciri an organic, logical choice.
Okay, why organic?
Because she was so central to the original book saga,
Yeah.
they see her as this amazing layered character, loads of potential.
Right.
And it's framed as a continuation after Geralt's main story kind of wrapped up in the games, lets them explore new stuff.
Story-wise, that actually makes a lot of sense. Geralt's arc felt, well, pretty complete by the end of Witcher 3, depending on your ending, I guess.
Right.
Ciri's different. Her powers, her whole destiny thing. It's a completely different viewpoint on that world, not just hunting monsters for coin,
Yeah, totally. And even Geralt's voice actor, Doug Cockle, he's back the move.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it ties into book stuff he didn't want to spoil.
Yeah.
Which, really grounds the decision in the lore.
Yeah, that suggests they're building carefully on Sapkowski's foundation, not just making things up. Ciri's woven into that world's fate.
And we saw her, didn't we, back in December, that little cinematic teaser.
Ah, right at the Game Awards. Very quick.
Super brief, yeah. No real gameplay, but it showed Ciri, confirmed her as the lead. And she was fighting something weird.
A Bok, apparently. From Serbian myth.
Yeah, multi-legged, creepy looking.
Yeah.
Definitely not your standard drowner or ghoul.
So, okay, we know who. We know it's the start of a trilogy. But the cinematic was just a taste. The tech demo, that's where things got really interesting.
Exactly. Which brings us to the really juicy stuff, the recent reveal that got everyone talking. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Just a few weeks back, June 3rd, right? At Epic's State of Unreal event,
Yep, State of Unreal 2025.
CD Projekt Red showed off a technical demo, the new Witcher game running on Unreal Engine 5.
Now, gotta stress this, like you said, tech demo, not the final game.
Absolutely crucial point. This isn't gameplay footage necessarily, but they said it shows some of the cutting-edge tech powering the new Witcher saga.
And what they showed was pretty remarkable, especially for current consoles.
Get this, running on a base PlayStation 5,
Okay.
hitting 60 frames per second,
60. Wow.
with ray tracing enabled.
Okay, hold on. 60 FPS in ray tracing. On a base PS5.
Yep.
In what looked like an open world.
Yep, that's a massive technical flex. Ray tracing usually tanks performance.
Okay.
Getting both on current consoles is, what's ambitious.
It really tells you they're focused on optimization from the start. Using Unreal Engine 5.6, looking ahead to 5.7 features, they're digging deep into the engine.
They mentioned specific tools too, like the fast geometry streaming plugin.
Right, which basically means for you playing the game, they're trying to load those huge, detailed worlds super fast. No jarring pop-in, ideally. Seamless.
Makes sense for a massive world. And what did we actually see in the demo?
It followed Ciri exploring Kovir.
Kovir. Okay, so that's confirmed as a playable region.
Right.
Up in the north, right. Mountains, wealthy cities.
Exactly. The demo showed glimpses of that. Rugged mountain paths, really dense forests, and this bustling port town, Valdrest.
So a good mix of environments.
And they used those scenes to show off the tech. ML deformer for, like, detailed character faces, clothes moving realistically in crowds.
Okay.
And the big one, visually, nanite foliage. It's coming in UE 5.7, but they showed it working.
Manite, that's the thing that lets them put insane detail in, right?
Yeah.
Without killing performance.
And precisely. Applied to foliage means incredibly dense forests, lush ground cover, like down to individual leaves, all rendering smoothly.
Wow. The sources pulled out some great details too, like that Voldrest market scene. 300 individually animated characters on screen.
300, that's properly bustling. Imagine cities feeling that alive.
Right. And they even highlighted, like, realistic horse muscles on Ciri's horse, Kelpie.
Ah, okay, that's attention to detail.
It shows they're aiming for fidelity everywhere, not just Ciri.
Yeah.
And yeah, they apparently mentioned how good the leaves look, thanks to Nanite.
You gotta appreciate good leaves.
The demo wrapped up with a look at Lan Exeter, Kovir's winter capital, another big city tease.
Yeah, what's really striking here is this isn't just marketing speak about next gen, it's a tangible glimpse.
Yeah, you can see the potential visual quality, the density, the scale the engine allows, and seeing it run like that on current hardware.
It gives you a real visual anchor for imagining what exploring Kovir could actually feel like. That level of detail and performance is genuinely impressive for a PS5. It really validates their move to Unreal Engine 5 and their technical skill, but as amazing as that tech looks, it leads to the big question, doesn't it?
The inevitable question. When? When do we actually get to play this? So, wandering through those nanite forests and 300 NPC markets, when's that happening?
Yeah. The leap from shiny tech demo to holding a controller often involves a bit of patience.
Understatement of the year, maybe?
Possibly. Look, the official word from CD Projekt Red is 2027. That's the earliest possible launch year.
Earliest.
Yeah.
That's the key word there, isn't it?
Absolutely. So that definitely rules out this year or next year. Anyone hoping for a quick follow-up needs to adjust expectations.
In thinking about big games,
Yeah.
delays are almost standard procedure, right?
Incredibly common, especially for games this ambitious, cutting-edge visuals, huge open worlds. These things are monster projects.
Well, 2027 is the target. But
Yeah, realistically. 2028, maybe even later.
Yeah.
Totally possible.
look at GTA VI, another massive hyped game, still years out. Development takes time. Stuff happens. That timeline also brings up platforms. Running that demo on a base PS5, that strongly hints at cross-gen, doesn't it?
Seems very likely. Launching on PS5, Xbox Series XS makes sense to reach the huge player base already there.
Which is interesting because aren't there rumors about new consoles, like a PS6, maybe around 2027 too?
Exactly.
Hmm.
So you might have a situation where it launches on current-gen consoles right as the next generation is potentially arriving.
Hmm.
It makes business sense, maximizing reach, but technically it means optimizing for current hardware while maybe not fully leveraging future potential immediately. It's a balancing act.
And speaking of balancing,
Yeah.
seeing a demo that good, knowing the timeline,
Yeah.
it raises the question of managing expectations, right? For you, the listener.
Yeah, it really does. Given CD Projekt Red's history and how amazing that demo looked, how do you approach the hype?
It's the elephant in the room, Cyberpunk 2077, especially the launch state on older consoles.
That experience definitely left a mark. People are understandably wary, cautious about believing demos will equal the final product straight out of the box. And the concern highlighted is valid. Tech demos show potential in controlled settings. Building the whole massive, complex game quests, combat, AI, everything working together smoothly across platforms, that's the real challenge.
And sometimes the pressure, the huge demand, it leads to rushed releases, right? Bugs, glitches.
Exactly. That's often the fear. The sources even mentioned a YouTube comment on the tech demo.
Oh, yeah? What did it say?
Something like, crazy how many EPL forgot they released videos of Witcher 3 ages before it launched just like this, of it looking 100 times better than what we got. We'll see what we get when it's out.
Oof. Now, Witcher 3 launched pretty well, especially compared to Cyberpunk on PS4, Xbox One.
True. But that comment reflects a general skepticism, you know. People have seen amazing demos before, and the final game, sometimes it's different, sometimes it takes patching.
It's a fair point. Demos show ambition. The final game tests execution.
So as a player, it's about finding that balance, right? Get excited by the potential, because it is exciting, but keep a realistic view of development challenges and timelines.
Okay, so new hero, amazing tech, new region, long wait, cautious optimism. Got it. But there's one more confirmed bit of news. Pure good news for fans.
Yes. Something to cheer about unequivocally.
Let's end on something that'll make a lot of Witcher 3 players very happy. Remember getting completely sidetracked for hours by that minigame?
Oh, Gwent. You mean the real main quest of Witcher 3?
Huh, exactly. That card game. Simple rules, seemed easy,
Mm.
but then it just sucked you in.
Incredibly addictive. Strategic depth became its own huge thing.
Playing against blacksmiths, barons, everyone. Well, good news. The sources confirm it. Gwent is coming back.
That is genuinely fantastic news for a huge chunk of the fan base.
Right.
For so many people, Gwent wasn't just in Witcher 3, it was Witcher 3 almost. It got its own standalone game because it was so popular.
Yeah, it really took off.
Knowing it'll be back, integrated into the new RPG world, challenging NPCs again.
That's brilliant. It might seem like a small detail next to a new engine and a new protagonist, but for the community, it's a big deal.
Definitely. It connects the new game back to the last one, brings back something people absolutely loved. Great bit of continuity.
It promises those same hours of just one more game will be
Right.
back.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's pull it all together then. You've got the essential download now on the next Witcher chapter. We're looking at a new saga, starting a trilogy, starring Ciri, exploring a whole new region, Kovir.
Powered by some seriously impressive Unreal Engine 5 tech. We saw that demo 60 FPS ray tracing on a base PS5. Shows incredible potential for the world's look and feel.
But crucially, it's still a ways off. 2027 is the earliest target. Delays are always possible with games this big.
And while that demo was stunning, history reminds us to, keep expectations in check regarding the final launch date. Temper the hype with a little realism.
And Gwent is back.
Gwent is back.
So those are the key facts, the confirmed reality we have right now. You're equipped.
Yep, you know what's actually been revealed about where this world is heading?
So here's something to chew on after we wrap up. Think about this. You've seen that dazzling tech demo. The potential is huge, right? But you also know the history, the reality of big game launches. How do you personally square that circle? How do you balance the excitement for what looks possible with the lessons learned from the past? And what does that whole dynamic mean for how you'll follow and anticipate massive projects like this over the next few years? Something to think about.